Tourism is essential for communities to thrive. The cultural tourism business in Texas generates over $40 billion a year for our state.
Of the ticketed events that were held here last year, approximately 20% of the patrons came from outside the city limits.
Gosh, look at all the out-of-town folks here. You know, while they're here, they're spending money here. They're eating in our restaurants, and they're going to our gas stations, and they may even be spending the night. And gosh, isn't that great that they're adding money into our community?
My name is Vince Hernandez. I'm the general manager of the Texas Musical Drama. It's mounted on the stage behind me. It's really an amazingly dynamic show. And I've had so many people who have walked out of here who tell me, we had no idea. We just never would have dreamed that there was something like this in the middle of the Texas Panhandle. We're a huge revenue generator for the Parks and Wildlife Department. We pay the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department 10% of all of the revenue that's generated here at the park.
Having Texas and just Palo Duro Canyon is just amazing. I mean, you know, when people come to Amarillo, they want to go down and hike or ride bikes at Palo Duro Canyon. They're just amazed at what it looks like. And then to have a musical drama down, you know, outside in the canyon like that is just fascinating.
By the late 80s and early 90s, there were more than 100,000 people coming to the show every season.
The perspective of bringing people to an outdoor theater. People will come who have never attended a theater performance in their life, but they'll come because it's outdoors and it's spectacular in their sound and light. We always felt that Texas was a catalyst for the arts. One of the things that we even did was to encourage other art organizations to get started. The Globe News Center is a great example of that, you know, where everybody contributed. Originally,
it was going to be all private money, and $33 million in a community this size is a lot of money. It wound up being about 90% private money, and the support of the community was remarkable.
From the very beginning, the board had worked out with city leaders that this facility would be donated back to the city once it was completed, and owned and operated and managed by the city.
We started, and then the negotiation with the city of Amarillo, they got so excited they gave us their very best piece of property. I mean, you couldn't ask for anything better.
Children's Education Center was something that we didn't originally think about putting in, but as we traveled the Panhandle of Texas asking for funding for this building, what we heard more than anything from everyone was, we would be interested in your building if you could help us with education of our children. It has turned out to be one of the best decisions we ever made, and it has actually outgrown these walls.
Window on a Wider World is the education component of this facility, and our mission is to provide those enriched experiences of arts, science, and culture for the children of the Texas Panhandle. This program reaches throughout Region 16, and that includes the 26 counties of the Texas Panhandle, 26,000 square miles, 63 school districts.
And you take a 5- or 6-year-old and bring them into an establishment like this and get them started in the arts when they're young. And then they're your contributors that, you know, make a difference for economic development later in life.
It is so much fun to stand in here and watch these children walk in here. You know, they're from these little tiny towns outside of Amarillo. Many of them will never have an opportunity to see live theater or anything live other than what they see here. And it has just been amazing, and it's so much fun to stand there and watch them as they come in and see the looks on their faces as they see this place.
The Globe News was the starting point, and it's been the catalyst to bring wonderful restaurants, and now we're getting our first hotel downtown. To have a downtown hotel connected to our Civic Center and the Globe News was really important.
One of the things that we focused on was the need for public investment, public projects to bring the private investment, which can kick off, of course, additional private investment, and you see that in downtown after downtown across the United States. So we looked at areas where that could be achieved, where public projects made sense. And like the Globe News Center, which although had mostly private investment, it really capitalized on the public investment of the Civic Center being across the street. The city manages the Globe News Center, is sitting on city land. So that partnership is part of what made that project work, the Globe News Center. One of the things that we want to do is bring a convention hotel, which would be adjacent to the Globe News Center, of course with meeting space close to the Civic Center, looking at upgrading the Civic Center, bringing a multi-purpose, we call multi-purpose entertainment venue, which would accommodate it would be a ballpark that would accommodate other events as well.
I believe that the future for arts organizations and for their success is going to be through public and private partnerships, where cities, through hotel motel tax or special 4B taxes, whatever it may be, help support vibrant organizations.
It takes both to make projects work, whether it's downtown or whether it's another part of the city. The public sector has to be involved in those kind of amenities and things that are accessible and available to the public. And so without the public sector, the private doesn't work.
It's all about relationships. You've got to have those conversations. What may work for the Panhandle of Texas may not work for another rural area in the United States, but the basics of it can work.
Collaboration is extremely important.
The city and the Chamber of Commerce and all the arts organizations, they work together to promote things. And I think that makes a big difference. It's not a competition.
This town has always been unusually supportive of the arts.
I can't imagine the city without the arts.
You're going to see a lot more coming out in the next 5 to 10 years. You're going to see Amarillo on the map.